Well, no quiet place to do this today. So I haven't been on in a while. Thought I'd, put up a video. I've got lots of years of professional software development. Not a good barber, but lots of years of professional software development. One of the things that I'm doing right now is, going through my almost weekly upgrades of my development environments. So, I've got a couple of environments for Linux. I've got for environments for Java, for Android, and related products thereof. So when I started out in software, things were simple. You downloaded a library, or you built a library and you downloaded it and you kept it somewhere, and then you compiled it with a static compiler. And some things like this could work for years. Your build environments, your compile environments were good for years. They didn't change. Now, since I enjoy the new tools, I have to live with some of the new problems. One of the new problems is the dynamic build environments. Like I said, I've gone through build environments that were makes, that were bat files, that were ant files, that were, I just can't remember them all. And if, I'm going too techie for you, I'm sorry, but I've gone through lots of different build environments. Now my favorite IDE is moving into Gradle. They're moving away from their own build environment into Gradle. So, which is fine, except for the fact that Gradle upgrades practically every week. So what does that mean? That means that in some cases my Gradle files don't live more than a month or two, and then I have to spend time writing Gradle code to make my builds work. Now, granted, it's getting better, and granted, changes are fewer and far between, but I've got hundreds of projects I've worked on, and some of which have to come alive again. I'm going to spend more time updating or moving to a Gradle build environment than I am writing my own code. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. And if you are into software, be prepared for the craziness. The build environments are substantially more complicated than they ever were. It used to be easier just to download a library and plop it onto my drive and be done with it, old school. Now, of course, we got the much more into repository work, but it turns out that some of the libraries I want to use, the fixes aren't in the repository, so I'm stuck downloading from their dev environments because they haven't bothered to push it up to a repository, and I'm stuck downloading it and then having to write Gradle code to integrate it into my project. And code that I used to have working in IntelliJ, which is one of my favorite tools, now defers everything to Gradle, so the settings that were in IntelliJ are overwritten by Gradle, so now I have to figure out what I used to have from a few years ago, from 3 years ago when Gradle wasn't the thing, to how to convert all that to a Gradle build. And really, seriously, that's a pain in the butt. If you're spending more time taking care of your build environment than you are writing code, it's nuts. Granted, there are some advantages, and everything works right. It probably works right, but not everything always works right, and not everything's documented. It's a pain in the butt. So if you're going into software and you're going to be pulling down $100,000 to $200,000 to $250,000 a year writing code, which is quite easily done, you got to deal with this horseshit. You got to be prepared. Now, fortunately, if you're going in now, the tools are much better than when I started. I mean, I used to have to open up a book and look for the methods and do the code completion, and there was lots of rudimentary stuff that had to be done to make the code work. The IDEs have great code completion. They have suggestions. They are getting really very sophisticated. They do lots of good work for you. They still don't do all the work, but they do lots of good work for you. But the constant churn of the underlying support and build environments is nuts. And the churn involves them constantly changing the wording, the verbiage, things that do or don't work, how they do or don't want you to do it now. If you go, I spent hours last night going through a code base and trying to find things and looking through examples to find out that the examples no longer work because the environment has changed. Anyway, that's enough for my rant. Yeah, you want to make a lot of money. Software is a good way to still do it. I've got friends who are in their 80s making more money than they know what to do with. I'm not there yet. 23, 24 years, yeah. But it's a good way to go. You can make an easy 6 figures. If you're lucky, you can make 7. And you know, that's it. That's my rant for today. I'm wearing my Cal Poly shirt from where my oldest daughter graduated. Go Cal Poly. And back to work. You guys have a good one. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, please. Subscribe to the channel.